I was shocked when he said that because I was surprised.
I was shocked too.
After 8 years, he still had this type of unmitigated faith. It was fascinating to me. Born and raised in Dallas, I remember when the Cowboys won that last Super Bowl. I was just a toddler. Dave Helman. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about this.
Me neither.
Do you agree with Stephen Jones that Dak Prescott can lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl?
There's a key phrase there, and it matters, and it's the Cowboys. Can Dak Prescott lead the Cowboys to a championship?
That's what you said.
Honestly, I think the answer is no. Again, not whether or not I think Dak is a good enough quarterback to win a championship, because let's dispel with the notion that there's this overly magic line of quarterback play that can get you to a Super Bowl. Winning it, sure, but I mean, again, we have seen, of course, it's all about Patrick Mahomes right now. Tom Brady's won a bunch of them, but just in recent memory, we've seen Nick Foles win one. We've seen Matthew Stafford win one. We've seen Jimmy Garoppolo get there. Guys, I don't know how I already lost you. I thought I would make it further, to be honest with you. What?
We don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know that's your guy. But can we at least acknowledge he's not in this magical realm of like, oh my God, if only we had him.
Yep.
Okay, that's my only point. I think Dak Prescott meets the line of you can build a championship team around him. The problem is the franchise that he plays for that has now gone 27 years without a championship. Actually, check this out. A couple weeks ago, we did a similar topic. I said something that I didn't view as controversial, and I got a lot of blowback on it. I said Dak Prescott's career is starting to remind me eerily of Tony Romo's, just in the sense of a lot of hype, a lot of regular season wins, a lot of statistics, not a lot of playoff success to show for it. Haven't gotten past the divisional round. And I got a bunch of blowback from people that said, Dak couldn't hope to be Tony Romo. Tony Romo is so much better, which actually...
That might have been me.
That's okay, Shady. It actually helps my point. Even if you think Tony Romo's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, what do the Cowboys have to show for his career? A bunch of divisional round exits. These are organizational...
He didn't have that team they got, though.
Is that so? Because he was on 13-3 teams. He was on 12-4 teams. He was on some very good teams that didn't get past the divisional round.
I like that defense.
And why... Shady. Please go look at the 2007 Cowboys defense. It's fine.
09 and up. I was in the league 09, so I remember all them games.
Football happened before you were in the league.
I'm just saying, 09 and up. He had a couple years.
That's beside the point. My point is, I think there's organizational failings here, a.k.a. team building, that are holding the Cowboys back. I know you have something to say.
I got a lot to say.
I just want to throw this out there.
Go ahead, I'll wait.
The Cowboys' two biggest obstacles toward building a more complete roster: Dak Prescott's cap hit of $49 million, which is the Cowboys' fault because they waited 2 years to sign him, and Zeke Elliott's $17 million cap hit, which is fifth largest on their team, which is also the Cowboys' fault because they signed him ahead of Dak Prescott, gave him a $90 million contract that they very much regret right now. These are not Dak Prescott issues. These are Dallas Cowboy issues.
Are you done, Dave?
And it's stuff
I'm
like
done with
that.
You. So are you done?
That makes me worried that Dak Prescott can get this organization over the hump.
Let me dismantle everything you just said.
I doubt it.
30 seconds.
I doubt it.
No, the Cowboys can't win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott, because if they could, they would have done it by now. How do I know that? The Cowboys have given Dak Prescott Super Bowl rosters. Let's start in 2016. That's the first year I met Dave Helman.
True.
In 2016, the Dallas Cowboys went 13-3. Their roster had 3 Ring of Honor offensive linemen, 2 Hall of Fame offensive linemen, Zach Martin, Tyrus Smith, Travis Frederick being the Ring of Honor player. Their roster had a 1,600-yard running back. Shade, you know how hard it is to rush for 1,600 yards in the league. The roster had a slot receiver that was all-pro caliber in Cole Beasley. Ended up getting a second-team All-Pro years later while he was older and even outside his prime. The roster had a Hall of Fame tight end by the name of Jason Witten. Their roster had the greatest touchdown receiver in Cowboys history in Dez Bryant, meaning a Cowboys history of wide receivers with Michael Irvin and Andrew Pearson. Their defense also had Sean Lee at the Mike linebacker position, and he was healthy. Now, don't tell me the Cowboys defense was not good enough to go to the Super Bowl, because who went to the Super Bowl that year? The Atlanta Falcons. They were 27th in points, and they were 25th in yards. So their defense was not good. Okay, Dak Prescott, you had a really good offense. Can get to the Super Bowl then. Let's give him a really good defense. How about in 6-7 years later, this year? Now you give him a really good defense with Trayvon Diggs, with Micah Parsons, with Wilcox, with DeMarcus Lawrence, with a whole bunch of beasts at top layer, defensive line, linebacker. We're stout. Can't win it with great defense. So now I'm asking myself, if we gave you a great offensive roster and we gave you a great defensive roster, you couldn't win it with good offense, you couldn't win it with good defense, then when can you win it? If you coulda, you woulda. So you can't. It's simple as that.
You actually made my point for me.
I hope so.
The Cowboys stumbled upon Dak Prescott as a 4th-round pick and started him immediately. What do we always say? The easiest way to put a contender together is with a quarterback on his rookie deal. Did the Cowboys maximize that? They absolutely did not. No. Do you want to compare those Cowboys rosters? You realize they got 1 year out of prime Dez. Like Dez was there.
Fine.
Dez was there for
That's
one
all it
season.
takes.
They got 1 year out of that.
That's all it takes.
You want to stack that Cowboys team up against what the Eagles put on the field this year?
No, but here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do.
Talking about the Cowboys, bro.
No, it
I
matters.
will stack that Cowboys roster against the 2016 Falcons roster all day. I will.
They ran up against
Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. I'll stack them up against that. No,
you don't think
Devontae Freeman? Come on.
what are you talking about?
you don't think Dak Prescott has grown into a better quarterback since he was a rookie? Again, how many rookies have won the Super Bowl? How many times has that ever happened?
Never.
Thank you, Joy. So what are we doing here? Okay, cool. He didn't win the Super Bowl as a rookie.
He didn't even get
It's very hard to do.
Stephen Jones, man.
He lost to prime Aaron Rodgers.
Stephen Jones.
Somebody else go. I'm tired.
I think Stephen Jones, he knows what's really going on. I think he can't get away from the number that they still owe Dak money-wise. And then reading his comments, it's similar to the comments, people said about Eric Bieniemy, right? They didn't say nothing about him being a great offensive coordinator. They said stuff like, oh, he's a good leader. He's a good guy. He's a good coach. Nothing about him being offensive coordinator, calling plays, installing plays. None of that. Same thing with Stephen Jones.
What Stephen Jones say?
He ain't say. All he said is that he's a leader. He has leadership skills, undeniable, like stuff like that. I mean, that's cool. I think that is true.
That is true.
But
Phenomenal
not
leader.
to win a Super Bowl. You said, that to be a leader, which he is, but not to win a Super Bowl. When I look at Dak Prescott and look at the Cowboys, you keep trying to
What's he doing?
trick us. Yeah. Don't trick me.
I'm just stating facts.
Because I watched that last game against the 49ers,
what you see?
right?
I'm curious.
And it wasn't the Cowboys like you talked about. One of the Cowboys, it was Dak. Same guy that had 2 picks. The same guy that shut down and had 12 points. The same guy that for the Niners, they couldn't move the ball at all. And the only reason they got any points is through turnovers from Dak Prescott.
Tired, man.
So he's tired, he needs coffee. But the real issue is, instead of making excuses for Dak Prescott, we should all keep it real. I think he is a great leader, like Steven talked about.
Leader. Yes,
but
sir.
the reason why they can't win a Super Bowl is because Dak Prescott.
You guys know how many receivers on the Cowboys exceeded 600 yards this year?
All right, I'm going to split it.
It was 1, by the way.
All right, I'm going to split the bill here. Because
I ain't paying.
No, Dak Prescott is not good enough to win a Super Bowl. And I was on board with that for a long time. I thought he was a confetti guy. Of course he's a great leader. There's no question about that. I really don't know that there's that many other people in the league. It's a very short list of people that could fill this role of being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Like that's a different thing. It's different playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys than any other team in the league. So I'll give Dak all the credit in that space, but I don't think he is good enough to win a Super Bowl, meaning he is not going to be the catalyst to win you a Super Bowl.
I agree with that.
Match that with the Cowboys are not ever going to get out of their own way. They didn't replace Amari Cooper this year. That's not Dak Prescott's fault. They've had 27 years of the same exact result. Dak has not been playing for 27 years. He's been playing for 7 of those years. So I'll split the difference.
a long time.
I don't think Dak Prescott is good enough to win a Super Bowl, and I don't think the Cowboys run their organization in a way that they can be in a position because they do all this other stuff. They've had all these other great teams. They always have stars, but they never really have the guy at quarterback. And look, Cowboys fans going to be mad at me. I ain't think Tony Romo was the guy either. And guess what? He wasn't.
They didn't either until he retired.
What was the Cowboys? Was it their fault?
I think it's both.
I know, but
Yes.
was it their fault against the Niners?
No, that's where I'm at.
You know what I'm saying? All that makes cool until.
But I can't also ignore the 27 years of evidence
But what about
that
this?
they've never had the right formula.
Let's go on this year though. Let's go on this year.
You know, I'm with you. I don't
This
think Dak
year,
is good enough. I don't think Dak is good enough, and there's a lot of reasons why he needed help. Right? He is a guy that needs help. But when are they going to recognize that and do that? Like
They did. The first 3 years of that, he needed so much help.
I don't want to talk about.
Then which Dak? You want to talk about this year? You want to talk about?
I'm not talking about his rookie
Which one are we talking
season.
about?
Don't put me in a place where I got to defend Dak Prescott. But I'm not talking about his rookie
Come on
season.
over,
He's
Joy.
a
It's great.
rookie.
I'm not even saying this rookie year. I'm saying
This
the
year, go
Cowboys.
this year.
We can go this year.
2016 was his rookie
I'm not
year.
saying his rookie year. I'm saying the first. I said the first
this year
3,
was
4
his fault.
years.
This year
Acho.
was his fault. This year was his fault.
He need no more help this year.
His third year in the league, they went into the season with a hodgepodge of
Absolutely.
nobodies at receiver.
And then what did they do?
But here's the other problem.
admitted they were wrong for the first time ever, thankfully, and traded for Amari Cooper.
Can we go this year?
Halfway through the season.
Why we can't go this year?
Hold on. Here's the other problem. We talking about we always do this with the Cowboys. Why are the Cowboys talking about Super Bowls? Y'all don't make it to the NFC Championship game. You can't talk about.
But here's my thing.
That's not their fault, though.
That's
not their fault. The
27 years?
They were averaging 30 points a game.
27
right?
years is
30
not
points,
their
we talking
fault?
About, listen, that's cool. That's smoke and mirrors. We talking about this year. This year.
You want
They
me
were
to
averaging
pull up?
30 points. The Niners averaged 30 points a game, right? The Cowboys, the team that they assembled together, right? They averaged what? They at 12, had them to 12 points. They had the Niners to 12 points. You should be able to go out there and win that game.
Here's and this is my last thought. We might have to do this again. Here's why I don't believe in like this, the mythological being of the Cowboys. Because before Carson Wentz / Nick Foles, the Eagles hadn't won a Super Bowl. Before Jalen Hurts, if you disregard that Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, the Eagles hadn't. Before Joe Burrow, the Bengals hadn't won a Super Bowl in God knows how long. So there needs to be somebody special, somebody unique, somebody overtly talented, somebody who has that extra level of it that can do those things.
Dak Prescott is a 4th-round pick, and Tony Romo was undrafted. Go get a quarterback. Go get a quarterback.
Oh, wait, hold up.
They're massive overachievers.
Okay, so that's the excuse. They were 4th round undrafted.
Joe Burrow's a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, but right now, this is what they are, right? He's a Pro Bowler. He's a $160 million quarterback.
3-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, you should be able to win. Your
Cowboys-
defense did their thing. They shut.
Can we pull up
Niners
the
down.
clip from August where I said Dak didn't have enough help?
We'll revisit this
I don't want to revisit it.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.